Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the long-awaited return of the Rock Topic podcast with Zane. Just a couple things to heads up before we get started into the episode. This was recorded many, many months ago, back when closer to when the first one was recorded. So if there's anything we talk about that is not necessarily of the times, closer to pre-COVID and closer to, just some different times in all of our lives, that is why this was recorded a long time ago. And the other thing I will say is a quick warning. Not all the language in this podcast is fit for children, so if you need to take note of that before you begin watching, then there you go. And an update, I plan to release a new episode of this podcast every other week on the alternating weeks from when the main RiffJaw show goes up. So I hope to get on an upload schedule where one Wednesday you will have the official RiffJaw episode, and then the next Wednesday you will have a new episode of the podcast. And I hope to keep alternating these and going on, and that way you guys will have content every week coming from me. So with that being said, and without further ado, let's get into the topic of Motley Crue. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode 2 of the Rock Topic podcast. I am once again joined by who I originally thought was going to be a guest, but is now co-host Zane.
Oh, word. Hello, everybody. How you doing?
We just, the first episode seemed to go really well. People seemed to like it. I think it was the fastest growing, viewed video I think I've had, except for my Pile drum kit review. I think this was, within days, I already had, 20-something views on this video, which usually doesn't happen. So I was pretty excited about that on the first episode. And so I was like, all right, well, people seem to like it. I'm going to keep making it. And Zane and I seem to have some real good conversation. So today's topic, we have Motley Crue. My favorite band, and Zane, I think it's your favorite band, if I'm not mistaken.
My favorite band as well.
All right, so this is going to be more geeking out about Motley Crue than it is going to be really trying to,
And real quick, I have to explain before we get this started how we found out it was our favorite band together.
Yeah, that's a great story.
So I'm visiting, right, my girlfriend, and we're all going to the mall together, and I get in the car. And Mr. Colton over here looks at me and he's like, do you by chance happen to like Motley Crue? And I hear my girlfriend in the back seat go, ah.
And I looked at her. I was like, what is he not like a Motley Crue fan? Sam just gave me this look. Sorry, future Colton, bleep that out if Sam does not want to be on the episode name dropped.
I'm sure Sam's fine.
I looked at Sam and just the look she gave back was like the Office meme where it's like, Michael, softly, don't. You know what I'm talking about? Where
yeah.
It's just like, don't. Don't get him started.
And then he looks at me and I'm smiling.
Yeah. And you're like, they're my favorite band. And I was like, oh my gosh, me too. And so that beginning, and the funny thing is that was the second or third time I had ever.
Yeah, we've ever met.
Yeah, we ever met was in that one of those situations. I think it was the second time I want to say that we ever met. And immediately from then on. Well, even the first time we met, we already became kind of pretty good friends. But I will say Motley Crue.
But then we realized we spoke the whittly-diddly language.
We both speak the whittly-diddly. And it is becoming a lost language, but I feel like I have new hope. Not to immediately shift the topic off of Motley Crue, but I had never listened to Greta Van Fleet before, and I do like the sound. And for being a modern band, bringing and keeping that kind of classic rock spirit alive, I love that. Wow. So I'm going to have to listen to more Greta Van Fleet. But
they're bringing 70s, 80s into now, which is...
Yeah, I like that.
So, you can't lose that sound.
No, I hope not. But the real topic, as in the one on your screen right now, ladies and gentlemen, and otherwise, we have Motley Crue on the table today.
Wonderful band. I can't speak highly about them enough. Yeah, and I know a lot of people don't like them.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Which is fair.
I love them.
Because I feel like, I have it set to be another podcast topic. If it bleeds too much into this podcast, we can call it the same episode. But hair metal in general, or glam metal, whatever you want to call it, like that kind of vibe, that style of music, is one that is like either loved or hated, you know? And to me, like, just a quick note on it so we can focus a touch more on Motley Crue this episode. I really do like, I just think it's interesting how, like, to me, I love listening, like, especially guitar-wise, like, for riff writing and for solos. There's something about kind of the peppiness of, like, glam and hair metal that I really like Poison, too. A lot of people give Poison trash, but I don't know. Like, how do you listen to Ain't Nothing But a Good Time and not have a good time? You know, like
That's true.
I like that song, and same with like Unskinny Bop has a cool little riff that
Unskinny Bop Bop. I love that song.
Yeah, like, and I remember when I first learned that song, like the when I first learned that on guitar, it was addicting. Like every time I picked up my guitar, I would like I'd start playing like and I was like, no, I did it again. Like I couldn't like, you know what I mean? It was like
did it just not to be that guy, but
it was like, whoa,
not to be that guy.
Did it just blow me away?
Blow you away?
Oh, dude, this is why you're on this show.
I had to.
This is 110 billion% why you are my co-host on the show. Holy crap. Oh my goodness. That's amazing. But oh, I'm tearing up already. What are we, 5 minutes in? Yep, 5 minutes 48 seconds. Oh my goodness.
I love all the hair metal scene.
Yeah, I love hair metal. Like, it's a good time.
Def Leppard,
yeah. Def Leppard,
all of
for
them,
sure.
Man.
Yeah. So, to focus on the greatest of them all, Motley Crue.
100%. Gotta agree.
Where do you start talking about Motley Crue? Like, discography or the story, or, you know, like, that's tough.
Well, I think we should both start out a little bit more personal on how we discovered Motley Crue as our band.
Yeah, I like that.
So, I guess I'll go first because
you're gonna have a better story, I think.
I forget because my grandpa listened to all this kind of music. Like, he's, in terms of diversity in rock, I have to give it to him for showing me things. But he did not like hair metal at all. He didn't. There was no part of him that liked it. I think it was his Navy background was like, nah, this is too like androgynous for me.
Yeah.
Which is like whatever.
I feel like I don't mean to interrupt, but like as far as Motley Crue and like hair metal in general goes, like you look at some of like the album covers, like Motley Crue Shout at the Devil, and you look at another good example is like Look What the Cat Dragged In, Poison, you know, stuff like that. You know, that kind of thing. And I feel like you hit a point where that music had a very tight age demographic too. Like it was definitely meant for like rebellious 18 to 19-year-olds during the time that came out. So I can see why it wouldn't reach everybody. But
oh yeah, for sure. But since I didn't really get exposed to that often, my mom, we had a local music store, and we didn't like, we weren't like rich, you know, growing up. Not by any means. But whenever my mom would get a little bit extra money from her job, we would go there, and she'd be like, "You can pick like whatever." Record you want to listen to, and I'm like, okay, that's fair. And only one, of course, because like money. But when that's also how I discovered a lot of my bands, because I usually picked off the cover. But when we were going there, because I told you I didn't get a cell phone until I was 14. Gotcha. But when we were going there, the guy at the music store was listening to, I think it was Def Leppard. I'm not entirely sure. Um, but I asked him. I said, "What do you like? Well, like, what is that?" Um, and he was like, "Don't worry, little man. Like, I don't think your mom would allow you to get this kind of music." And I'm like, "Okay." So we're walking through, and I hear, because he had his speakers connected to the whole store.
Yeah.
I hear, dan 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 dan. Da, 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 da. I'm like, what is that? That is sounding fine.
Yeah.
So I told my mom, I'm like, that sounds really nice. She's like, oh, that's Motley Crue. I'll buy you the album if you want it. And she got me Shot at the Devil.
Awesome.
And I'm like
That's
7 years
super
old, and
cool.
I go home and I put it in like the little
Yeah, that's awesome.
oval looking whatever player.
Yeah,
Put
yeah,
it in
yeah.
and I heard it. I'm like,
That's so cool.
that was my first experience with Motley Crue.
Alrighty, I'm gonna lean in there and take a quick branch over to discography because "Shot at the Devil," that album, like, uh,
Great.
it's I mean just, ye- I mean here we got "Shout at." I guess I don't know all of them totally by heart, but I do recognize many of these. Like, "Shout at the Devil" obviously
Oh
is one
yeah.
of their most listened to. I think "Looks That Kill" is a great
Yeah.
song. "Bastard" is, it's another notable one. I
Hmm.
don't think I've
Very
heard.
aggressive song.
I don't think I've heard "God Bless the Children of the Beast." I haven't heard that one actually. "Helter Skelter's" kind of a good one. I like the lyrics of it because you can tell Motley Crue is still early in their career,
Yes.
because they're just like. I love how it starts because it's just got that bass part and it's just like, when I get to the bottom, I go back to the top of the slide. I get to the top, I go for a ride. I get to the bottom and I do it again. And it's like, wow, did like a 7-year-old write this? And then but it's just Vince Neil like, I do it again. Wow. And
That
like,
that that's a
I love
hold on.
it.
That 7-year-old writing theme
Yeah.
is, I think that is a constant in Motley Crue's writing.
Oh yeah,
As much as I
absolutely.
love them, their writing is not the best, but
No.
it can be when it wants to be.
Oh
Home
yeah,
Sweet
yeah,
Home
true. Home Sweet Home
is
for sure.
fantastic,
Homes, yeah,
especially
absolutely,
lyrically.
absolutely. But like, "Helter Skelter" is one of my favorite songs to listen to as far as lyric
Same
wise.
lyric wise, another song that doesn't make sense is freaking "Girls, Girls, Girls."
Oh yeah,
There like some of it, of course, it flows together, right?
yeah,
They're talking
yeah,
about strippers.
absolutely.
Like, what more do you want?
Yeah,
You're not gonna get some sweet, soft "Stairway to Heaven" rock ballad here.
yeah, no,
They're
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
strippers.
yeah. It's
But
pretty set and dry what you can do with that topic. But like, like keeping, I guess going through "Shout at the Devil" further, "Red Hot" is another good one that's again pretty basic lyrically, but like
yeah,
the riff was just enough to be like, we're moving fast, you know what I mean? It was like
yeah, that's why I think
it's like,
Mick Mars is what carried
oh,
them when they
absolutely, I
were
totally agree
younger.
with that. Tommy Lee was a pretty great drummer too. You can't really undermine Tommy Lee.
Oh, for sure. But I
um
don't think he had the heart in it
oh,
like Mick did.
true, true, true. I also feel like Nikki definitely carried the band as far as like passion wise. Nikki was kind of
Oh
the
yeah,
glue.
for sure.
He definitely kept everything together. Also, Nikki was kind of, I guess this is kind of a notorious fact, but like, Nikki was not a good bass player when Motley Crue started. Like, from what I understand, and
There was
like,
even a rumor that he didn't even play bass.
yeah. Well, the thing is like, especially when you listen to the early Motley Crue albums, you ever notice how you can't hear the bass all that well?
Yeah.
It's because the mix engineer wasn't too keen on having Nicky's tracks too loud. And like, but where you have to give credit, you do have to give credit where credit's due. Over the years Motley Crue has been together, Nicky just like drastically improved on the bass. Especially by the time,
Everybody improved
yeah.
except for Vince Neil.
Yeah, true.
No
But
offense to that
yeah,
man.
but the thing too is like, listen to the difference between "Too Fast for Love," that album, which was their first one in that was their first one, and then listen to Dr. Feelgood and the space that was between that.
Oh god.
Listen to the difference in Nicky's bass playing. Like you can definitely at least hear it in Dr. Feelgood. And that's
Yeah.
because he got good enough. Just to finish this off, "Too Young to Fall in Love" is another good song. "Knock 'Em Dead Kid's" a good one.
It is good.
10 Seconds to Love. I like that. I like it too. I like all these songs. I've never heard Danger though.
No, I'm thinking about the first album.
Yeah, Too Fast for Love. Let's see what we got here.
For Love. That has,
yeah, 10 Seconds
that has
to Love is a
Public
different
Enemy
one.
#1, right? There's Public Enemy #1 on it.
Yeah. Yep. So Too Fast for Love is the first album. We got Livewire, which to me just if I could pick one song that defined Motley Crue early on, Livewire, absolutely. Because
and then in the same vein, one song that defines them now that they're older would be Kickstart My Heart.
Yep, that's exactly the next one I was going to bring up. Because when you really look at it, I look at Livewire, and especially with Livewire comes this. With Livewire, to me, comes this whole idea and this like, you can truly see the fluidity and the connectedness amongst the band members in Livewire, because I always think of that middle section where you have. You know, like the that little break where Tommy throws in these tiny little drum pieces, you know what I'm talking about? Or ding ding ding, you know, that little break.
Yeah.
That solidness of when they all came back together, especially because each one of those little breaks was a different amount of time. Like the drum fills that Tommy played were different each time. They weren't like time signature wise, they weren't the same break. So everybody just had to know when Tommy was done and when they were cutting back in. It could be studio magic too, but I the way I view it is that it's proof.
I don't think they had the opportunity to do that in the beginning for studio magic.
True. But you know, granted, they were signed a pretty big deal right away. But,
they were.
And I feel like the reason for that is because, like, the record company, I don't know much about Elektra Records, but I know, like, at least from the image that the Dirt documentary gave off, Elektra Records was a pretty new, young, up-and-coming record company. Because, and the other thing, too, that record companies were great at is screwing over young musicians who didn't really know what was going on. Because, I mean, really, how do you walk up to a bunch of like dumb teenagers? You know, I'm just using that term loosely, but how do you walk up to a bunch of teenagers like in the band Motley Crue and say, "Hey, we're signing
want a lot of money?
We're signing you to a 3-album deal, and we're giving you all the money up front. Just make sure you can pay for all of them. And if you can't, we'll give you more, but then you owe us, and then you get stuck." And that's what happened to so many young bands.
About Motley Crue, and if you were to take the diamond in the rough that is Livewire.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you were to process that diamond, you'd get Kickstart My Heart.
Yeah,
and I think
agree.
It's a perfect
That's
song
a perfect way to put it. Yes, absolutely. You could see the energy they were trying to give off, and their early it's almost like making a prototype of a machine or a circuit board before it's finally produced. It's like Livewire gives off that energy. Public Enemy #1, very notable. Merry-Go-Round. I
like that song a lot. I like Merry-Go-Round.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm familiar enough with that to give solid opinion. I've heard it once or twice. Take Me to the Top is just a defining one.
Fantastic.
I love Take Me to the Top. It's just I remember when I learned to play Take Me to the Top, it was one that by itself, that's what I love about a lot of Motley Crue songs is you can learn just the bass part or just the guitar part or just the vocal part or just the drum part, and it doesn't do it justice. But when it all comes together, or if you play it if you play along with the song, it's the energy that all of the elements come together to create. And I feel like the balance of elements that you get is what made Motley Crue such a great band in the first place, is because Vince Neil was a good vocalist, but he was well backed up, and Nikki Sixx needed some carrying early on as far as musical skill, as we've discussed previously.
But Mick Mars had it.
Mick Mars was a great guitarist, but without Motley Crue and the energy that the rest of the band gave off, Mick Mars wasn't really technically above, other guitarists at the time. If you're looking at favorite guitarist ever, imagine Motley Crue didn't exist and Mick Mars was a solo artist. if you know, and you look back to that era,
That's true.
you're gonna
That's
say
true.
Van Halen, you're gonna say Jimmy Page, you're gonna say Gilmore, you're gonna, you know what I mean? Like Mick Mars had a knack for
true.
rock riff writing, but his solos weren't overly impressive or technical. They just did exactly what they needed to. And the thing is with the band of Motley Crue, that is exactly what they needed. And that's why Mick Mars is such a great guitarist in my eyes, is because he was truly highlighted by Motley Crue. Like the whole composition, same with Tommy Lee as a drummer. Like he could have probably made it with anybody, but realistically it was Motley Crue that, you know, fit Tommy Lee's drumming style and how sporadic he was, and the whole like, guys, I have this idea. I had a dream, Nikki. We're gonna. Okay, I gotta put my. I don't know why my Tommy Lee impression sounds like Rick, but Morty, we gotta. But like, you know what I mean? Like Tommy Lee totally was like, hey, my drum set in a cage spinning 365 degrees.
I think no, but that makes sense that your impression sounds like that, because those are kind of ideas he'd come up with.
Yeah. And it's just like, you know, like, I don't know. Every member of that band. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
No, I love how, like, especially early Crue, if you like listen to their stories, they were so unorganized.
Yeah.
But like one member in the band would be like, "Hey, I'm envisioning this," and the rest of the band is like, all right, let's go, let's do it. Whatever it is, we're gonna do it."
Yeah, sure. I definitely love that, because like, well, I feel like another good thing to talk about is it was well covered in the dirt, but what I do really, really like is that if you look at backgrounds and where they all came from, like, they don't really talk too much about Mick, but like Tommy came from like a super nice and supportive family that was like, "Hey son, are you winning, son?" Like that kind of thing. And he's just like Tommy came from such like a nice home, you know, at least how it's portrayed in the movie documentary. But I haven't read the book, but it's on my list. I really do want to read the book. But I just feel like, you know, and then you look at Nicky and what Nicky came from and how horrible of a childhood he had, as far as his mom, you know, bringing home someone new every weekend, and just having to deal with that, and the fact that Nicky never met his dad really, you know, after he left. Which is just sad, and you know, it's even worse knowing by the fact that he called his dad once and reached him, you know, and the dad was like, "Never call me again," hangs up the phone, changes his name to Nicky Six, and the next time you see him even interacting with his dad is standing at his grave.
Well, what I think that was required for Motley Crue to get where they were with Nicky Six.
I agree. Nicky Six is what drove the band.
Because if they didn't have that, if Nicky Six's dad, which is like, you know, unfortunate for Nicky that he didn't get to spend time with his dad.
Yeah.
But if his dad on that phone call was like, "Where are you, son? I'll come get you right now. We'll spend time. We'll be a family." Motley Crue would just never happen. Yeah,
that's true. It is amazing, you know, how things kind of tend to domino effect in that way. You know, where you get something horrible, you know, and then it'll stem somehow into this amazing, you know, Motley Crue, you know, like how awesome is it, you know?
I don't think if even, I'm sure Nicky would even agree if like he was to give his opinion on this. Yeah. If he was able to go back in time and they were like, on that phone call, if your dad was willing to like come get you and spend like, and like you guys become a family, would you want that? I don't think he would have.
No, I don't think so either.
Especially because of where he ended up with the band.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is you know, if you follow Nicky Six on like Instagram and stuff, he is just like the freaking dad of the year. Like, you know, just super supportive of his family, and like is, you know,
his baby Ruby is adorable.
Yeah, like you can just tell that as a father, Nicky has been truly trying to give his kid everything that, you know, he never had. And that's, you know, just super cool. I mean, Nicky is such a respectable guy, especially after his like struggle with drugs that he went through with heroin and all that.
the thing that bothers me most about the generation that he came from is that if like you look at some of his Instagram posts or some of his Facebook posts or whatever he says, they think that like he's changed for the worse because he's being like more of a family man and he's not doing crazy things anymore. And it's like, listen, he's matured. He's living life with his wife, his kids.
Yeah,
He's
exactly. And still makes
like
good music. I mean, the original
yeah.
tracks on the new Dirt album, like, they're different, but they're
Oh
still
my
good.
God, Ride with the Devil,
Ride with the
freaking
Devil is awesome. Like, hold
it's
up,
a
I'm gonna go back.
fantastic song.
Going back to this is the newest release, the Dirt soundtrack. The Dirt, I like it, except for Machine Gun Kelly. I don't really care for
Isn't
MGK
there
all
a
that
version
much.
without him though?
Huh?
I think there's a version without him.
Oh,
Though.
I hope so. That'd be awesome. But
Yeah,
I don't
I
think
think
so.
because Sammy really likes that song, and I'm like, okay, cool. So I listened to it with her, and I'm like, I don't really dig the rap
No,
too much with
Machine
Motley
Gun
Crue.
Kelly. The only thing that I've ever liked that Machine Gun Kelly has done is playing Tommy Lee in the movie.
Yeah, that's
He did
fair.
a good job portraying Tommy Lee, I feel like. However, I don't care for Machine Gun Kelly. I really don't. But
I don't listen to his music enough to have an opinion, honestly.
to me, it's more
From
of
what I've heard, I do not like him.
yeah. I just as far as what I've heard of MGK as like a person, and the whole beef that he had with Eminem, and
Which was
like
hilarious.
like the fact that you're gonna call out, someone like Eminem too, and just be like, hey, you're old and washed up,
Eminem
and then to get
slapped him
absolutely
so hard he
slaughtered.
switched genres.
Like
Eminem slapped him so hard he switched music genres.
slapped
'Cause
him all the way from
because
rap to, to modern rock.
to like some punk rock thing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But like, I can't think of the track names. It was
Kill Shot
Kill
and
Shot. Kill Shot was Eminem's
Rap
track.
Devil. Rap Devil.
Rap Devil. Yeah, those are
Was
the two songs that are like. Or Kill Shot was
Eminem's.
yeah, Eminem, and then Rap Devil is MGK's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because Rap Devil came first, in
Yes,
response
and
to like Rap God making fun of that. And
well,
then
no, I think it's because I think how the whole beef started, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I think I might be wrong. I don't really. I like old school rap. That's
yeah,
my
I'm with you
cup of
too.
tea.
I like Biggie
But
and
50 Cent. That
yeah,
that might be because I'm from New York, though.
yeah, I gotcha.
Um, but I think because MGK made a tweet calling uh, Eminem's daughter, 16 at the time, hot. So
Oh,
then,
yeah, that
so
makes
then
sense.
Eminem mentioned him on a song.
Hmm.
Didn't like make a whole song about him, but mentioned him.
Yeah.
So then MGK made that whole diss, and then Eminem
Well,
just came back and
yeah, the whole thing with that too is like that's a lot of where it comes to like, you know, industry politics. Because if you're going to shout out someone like
Mhm.
Eminem, even if you get absolutely destroyed, any controversy, you're going to get people on both sides. And so
oh
I'm
yeah,
sure he got a lot of profit off of that beef, even though he got
no,
absolutely
I agree.
munched. But, I don't know, like Killshot. Like my favorite thing about Rap Devil to Killshot is that Rap Devil spends all that time making fun of Eminem in like really stupid ways, and then in Killshot, he's like, "Yeah, I'm old and washed up, but I'm still a far superior rapper than you, and I still deserve respect." I absolutely love that.
Only thing that annoyed me with Eminem's response, which
Yeah,
genuinely bugged me,
yeah,
is that when MGK made Rap Devil, MGK kept calling Eminem one of the greats, one of the best of all time,
yeah.
and like, and then Eminem kept like using that point to like, oh, in your rap you like insult me and then compliment me, and it's like, yeah, Eminem, that's kind of the point. Like, say something else. Like actually diss him. Don't just talk about like I don't know. It was
Well,
weird. It was
I
like a weird. It was a weird beef on both their sides.
to me, that's what I liked about Eminem's response is that he literally was like, he really pointed out the fact that Rap Devil was kind of pointless. You know what I mean? Because Eminem didn't have to dish a lot back. He just had to be like, "Yeah, I'm old.
No,
I'm
he
washed
didn't.
up. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm one of the
that's
greats,
true.
and you're still insulting me." that's just how it is. You know, you're right, but I'm still better. And that's what this track is about. And like, I what I think is funny is that there was nothing to like come back at him with. You know what I mean? He was like, yeah, you're
Yeah,
right, but
well,
I'm still great.
that's
And
true.
then that's,
Eminem touched every point.
yep,
Like, I sell more records than you. I love how he says that. I'd rather be 80-year-old me than
me than
20-year-old
20-year-old
you.
you. Yeah, that's a good,
Yeah, just stuff
okay.
like that. He just
Yeah.
he just kind of
So,
smacked him down.
yeah, slightly off topic, but still something I don't mind talking about. I don't think we could get a full episode out of a rap beef like that, but um, yeah, that's a good topic to touch on. But anyway, he did do a good job playing Tommy Lee in the dirt. Uh,
Yes.
so
Even though it destroyed his career.
did it really?
Because he's no longer. Well, I don't think he raps anymore. That's
Are
what I
you
mean. Like,
serious? I didn't know that.
yeah,
I want to
I think he
get.
just like.
I want to get. I would love it if I could find that song without. Uh,
Yeah, I believe it.
because it's
There is
not
one
on
because.
the. It's not on the Dirt soundtrack like the album. At least it doesn't. Yeah, no, it's not on the actual album. But huh?
Because I think Motley Crue knew that not everyone would like the one with rap. I think.
Yeah, but I guess so. I guess it's a ways past at this point. But I guess I'll bring up my less cool story about how I discovered Motley Crue. And to me, what got me about Motley Crue is, like it was to me like at the time really like football music. That's because the thing is like when you're in high school football and you want to get hyped up pregame and stuff, and everyone else is listening to like Machine Gun Kelly is a good example, like rap
Hmm.
that I personally don't like, or like Juice World and people like that. And you know what, like if that's your taste in music, I'm not gonna bash that.
Go for
It's
it.
just not
Yeah,
for
music is a
me.
personal thing. It's just
Music
not
is a
my
very
music.
personal choice. Personally, that kind of modern rap, like hip hop, pop kind of stuff, I'm not the biggest fan of. So I would always have my headphones in, my earbuds in, whatever, pre-game for football on a Friday night. I'm just in the zone, and then all of a sudden on my playlist, you'll hear "Kickstart My Heart." Like it just came up once.
Great hype song.
And you hear like some of those Motley Crue songs are so good at just getting you excited. And it was that excitement and that feeling that I heard that I was like, man, I really, really like this band. But I only listened to like their biggest tracks, Dr. Feelgood, Shout at the Devil, pretty much.
By the way, Dr. Feelgood's intro is legendary.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Brother.
It's so well known, too. It's instantly recognizable. But so those are these bands, or these songs, sorry, these individual like songs. Like basically, Dr. Feelgood, Kickstart My Heart, and Shout at the Devil essentially are the only three songs I really knew. I've heard Home Sweet Home before, I just didn't put the name to the song. And then after seeing The Dirt came out, and I was like, oh, Motley Crue, like I like some of their music. I'll give this documentary a chance. It is now currently, I want to say, my favorite movie of all time.
I think it's a great movie.
It gets me excited. It makes me invested in the band. Like I've learned so much about them as a band because of that movie, and I feel like it's just a story that's hard to match. It's so
Yeah,
compelling. It was a little done up for Hollywood's sake, from what they explained.
I
But
hate the thing that bothers me is I hate when people are like, "Oh, this is not incredibly accurate to like what actually happened," and it's like that's fair, but you have to remember Nikki, Tommy, Mick, and Vince were on set helping the thing
yep,
become the
yep, they
movie.
all wrote
So
it together.
if they were unhappy with the way it was portrayed, they would not have made it.
Exactly, exactly. That's how
So
they
I think
wanted the story to be told. So with that being said, you have this movie who I thought it was awesome, and then immediately after watching that, like the last few lines of that movie, I just got chills again now thinking about it.
Whoa, or
Um,
Motley,
yeah,
fucking
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It was those last few words where it was like, but it was like that's life and that's family, and and that's Motley, Motley Crue, and that last that last line, set of lines there as they're walking on stage. Again, I'm still getting chills thinking about it, just because like what a story to
it's pretty
have.
great.
What a story. I mean, and so after seeing that, seeing what they went through, hearing their music throughout the movie, I'm trying to think of the song. One song that I really, really like. It's on their first album. I'm absolutely ashamed that I can't think of it. Oh, I hate myself right now. Wow, I'm so mad. On with the show.
Alright,
I love On with the
okay.
show.
Great
Um,
song.
and like the whole part of that, like when Nicky goes in and burns his old ID and throws it in the ashtray after changing his
I
name
love
to
it.
Nicky Six from Frank Ferrana Jr. That moment was like wow, like and that was the perfect song choice for that. Um,
Well, I enjoyed well, I didn't see I've like I said I've been a pretty like in terms of my age, I think I'm a pretty lifelong Crew fan, I'd say. There's more
yeah,
years of
yeah,
my
yeah.
life liking Crew than not.
Yeah, I've always liked the hit
So,
songs, but I guess it wasn't until I saw that documentary slash movie, I guess is a better way to put it. Um, it wasn't until I saw that movie that I really took a deep dive and listened to like, a
yeah,
very
which is
extensive
fair.
collection of Motley music,
However,
and I love it.
however people get into music is fine, you know? It's like I
Yeah.
said, it's a very personal thing. I hate people who gatekeep.
Oh
Like
yeah.
if you listen, if like you hear a song on like let's say something as stupid as like a commercial,
Yeah.
and you really like the way the song sounds, who cares where you heard it? If you
Yeah.
like it, you know.
Yeah, that's
But
what I don't like. Like you said, gatekeeping in music. That's another great example of how like
it bothers me.
yeah, well, for example, like especially for rock being a genre that is, from the mainstream starting to lose its popularity to an extent with certain crowds. Why
Yeah,
would you
one
not want
percent.
more people to be invested in it and to enjoy it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hate those people who are like, oh, I was at the very first Crew concert in
Yeah.
'81, so like,
Yeah, I was
if you
at
don't
the
like them
I
as
was
much
at
as
their
I
first
like
show
them,
at the Whiskey. And it's like,
it's like good for you, dude. That doesn't mean my loving of them isn't any more invalid. It's
yeah,
like I
exactly.
don't care.
Exactly.
But
Still upset I didn't get to go to
oh,
that show this summer.
huh? Yeah, is that right? All right, sorry, Colton.
That's all right.
Um, but well, I have a pretty funny story
Alrighty, let's hear it.
about the Dirt movie.
Here, really quick. I
So
can still hear you. I gotta run and grab a thing of water quick.
you know, worse.
Continue. I'm back.
Welcome back. So I remember when I by the time the movie The Dirt came out, I wasn't like up to speed on every little detail about Motley Crue. You know, I knew
Mm-hmm.
that they kind of like separated and they weren't really talking. I'm like, well, that kind of blows.
Yeah.
But I still listen to their music. But I remember when I was actually visiting here before I lived here. I I get here and my girlfriend's friend, you know which one, the blonde one. Oh well, I
Yes.
guess. Uh,
Good
but
old,
she
good old
invites
10Bs.
no other one.
Other one.
The other one,
I feel
you know the other
horrible.
one.
I do. And I feel horrible. My brain isn't
Mm-hmm.
functioning right now.
um, but I get here and we're talking, and it's like this. It was the summer of 2019, and my girlfriend's like, "Hey, we got invited to go to my friend's house to watch a movie," and I'm like, "What movie?" And this is what my girlfriend hits me with, which you know is my favorite band, and at the time I believe she knew it. She
Mm-hmm.
was like, "I don't know, it's about some band."
Yeah.
I'm like, and I don't know what it is at first. I'm like, yeah, sure, okay,
Yeah.
we can start like watch a movie about a band. So we go there. Um, her friend won't tell us what the movie's about. Just said that we would like it. I'm like, cool. So the so the so the movie starts playing, and by request of my girlfriend, subtitles were on.
Yeah.
And I believe in the beginning of the song, Red Hot is playing. You
Yeah.
know, like when they're introducing people.
Yep.
So the second I look at Red Hot, I look over at my girlfriend. I'm
Yeah.
like, "What band is this again? Did you say some band?"
Yeah.
Because
Oh my gosh.
I'm not in my mind. I'm like, I'm not immediately sure. I know if they would make a movie. You know, I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't hear anything about them making a movie,
Yeah.
but I hear Red Hot. I'm like, why would they be playing a different band's song?
Yeah.
So I'm like, and then they pan it over to, I think it was what, Nikki Sixx first, and I see the hair,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
No
some
way.
band.
Yeah, some band. Yeah. My gosh. Um. I'll bleep the name out. Who were you at? Whose house?
Gracie.
Oh, I thought you said blonde.
Well, yeah, well, she's not blonde anymore, but
Okay, that's
she
why my
was at the
brain.
time.
That's why my brain wasn't expecting that. That's why I was thinking Sarah right
Yeah,
away.
but well, Sarah was there. There were a
Okay,
few people. There
gotcha.
were like a
Yeah,
bunch
I'm
of
gonna
people there.
replace all of these names probably with duck quacks or something, just because I'm gonna enjoy that. Or just like each time I say someone's name, I'll put in another second of like a Motley Crue song to censor it. maybe
That would be
maybe
fantastic.
maybe we'll get through the entirety of Dr. Feelgood by the end of this podcast. Because we'll just have like, oh man, I went to Burnt's house, and then, we went to Burn, that and go like, and eventually get through all of Dr. Feelgood. He's the one. Yeah, they were, oh my gosh. Anyway.
But that was my hilarious experience with the dirt.
That's awesome.
Because, like, when you're annoyed at your significant other and you're like sitting next to them, but you're in a group full of people and you're like, I can't bring it up right now.
Yeah, I know exactly the feeling.
So I'm like looking at the love of my life, like some band. We're talking about this after this movie, and you don't even know it yet.
Yeah, you don't know the wrath that's coming your way. All right, so now I'm gonna hit you with the tough question
It was
here.
over. Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah, go for it.
I'll make the first one easy. This is gonna be my first. My first question is gonna be easy. So, post Dr. Feelgood, what is your favorite Crue album? And your options are, Saints of Los Angeles, Carnival of Sins, which is a live album, New Tattoo, Generation Swine, or self-title. You can count the dirt if you want, but that's kind of cheating. That's kind of cheating.
That's kind of a cop out. It's
so,
like a
Saints of Los Angeles, Carnival of Sins, New Tattoo, Generation
Saints
Swine.
of Los Angeles.
Saints of Los Angeles. I will say it's definitely different than classic Motley, but I do really like Face Down in the Dirt. I like Down at the Whiskey. Down at the Whiskey is one of my favorites from modern Crue.
See, the Animal in Me is my significant other's favorite song.
Oh, really?
And
cool.
Yeah, and
I'll have to listen
at first it was Dr. Feelgood.
Okay,
but I remember listening to, because I already knew the song, and she was asking me to guess her favorite, and I'm like, okay, just give me like an album, and she said, Saints of Los Angeles. I'm like, there's like no song in here you would like in
that's
my
kind of surprising.
So then I kind of narrowed it down, and the instrumental in that song, if you like the vocals are great.
Yeah.
Vince Neil does a great job. It's like a more older, raw, gritty tone of Vince Neil.
Yeah.
But the instrumental in that song is phenomenal. I can't give them any more credit than that. It's fantastic.
Alrighty, and now that was the softball question. Hardball, what is your favorite classic Crue album? And so for classic Crue, that is Too Fast for Love, Shout at the Devil, Theater of Pain, Girls, 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 and Dr. Feelgood. How do you pick a favorite child?
Jeez. Oh my god.
Isn't that difficult?
I'm going to have to go through what albums I think have the best songs, in my opinion. Like what I would... and this is my own like selfish opinion.
Okay.
Like what I think what I would listen to. So let me go through my mental brain here. Dr. Feelgood has Kickstart My Heart.
Yep.
Has Dr. Feelgood. Has Rattlesnake.
Rattlesnake Shake. Oh, it's such a good. Such a good. Sticky Sweet.
Has Sticky Sweet. Dude.
Same old situation.
Same old
Don't Go Away Mad.
But then we go over to Girls, 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 and they have Wild Side. Bad Boy Boogie, of course.
Oh, Bad Boy Boogie's good. Something for Nothing.
That's a good one. Shout Out the Devil has Looks That Kill. Red Hot. Oh my god. Of course, Shout Out the Devil. I don't know if
Helter Skelter, the greatest Crue song of all time.
I don't want to be that like. I don't want to be so cliche, but I'm gonna have to go Dr. Feelgood in terms of songs that I would want to listen to.
Yeah,
Like in succession, it's probably gonna have to be that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason. I own two. I own two albums, or I own three vinyl records to my name. Number one was gifted to me from a friend, which is Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny, and then the other two are that I both purchased myself was the Dirt soundtrack, which was a two record, A B C D side. With all the classics, right? But then I also got the clear, transparent green. Actually, it's the what's up on your screen right now. This Motley Crue Dr. Feelgood vinyl with the transparent green cloudy effect. That is actually my final album that I own, and I think the reason for that is because it does have all those classics on it. But I'm going to challenge myself a little bit, and I am going to say that Dr. Feelgood, I feel like, was what many would consider to be the pinnacle of their career. I guess as far as being relevant, as well as being, still true to that original feeling of Motley Crue. But I will say, I'm going to narrow out as I go. Girls, Girls, Girls has great songs, but I can't say it has impacted me as much. So I am going to cross off Girls, 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 even though I do love some of the songs on there. Shout at the Devil.
Fair.
Shout at the Devil is another great album. Shout at the Devil itself is a great song. Looks That Kill is great. I do really, really like that album. However, I'm going to have to cross that one off next. Just because I feel like it didn't have as much of an impact on me. So Feel Good, Too Fast for Love, and Theater of Pain. Feel Good, it's the one that everybody knows. When people think Motley Crue, they think Dr. Feelgood. They think, all of these songs are awesome. Like, you can listen to this whole album up and down, and it is wonderful. But I feel like this is, as like you said, song-wise, I think Dr. Feelgood has to be it, and it's proof because I actually bought the album. But if I'm going to pick my favorite album, I'm going to go off of one that I feel like was more instrumental in cementing them as a band. So to go between Theater of Pain and Too Fast for Love, I would say, are probably two of their albums that remain that to me stick out as what really put them out there. Because Too Fast for Love, I mean, for being their first album and for being pretty raw sounding, like if you listen to a lot of the songs on there, like the audio engineering work is not as high budget as you might expect. I mean, granted, it's hard to tell if you don't do work with mixing and, audio engineering, but Livewire was incredible. Public Enemy #1, Take Me to the Top. The amount of emotion in that album for putting themselves out there for the first time was just phenomenal. And to move over to Theater of Pain, I just feel like they've gotten big. They had Shout at the Devil, which was huge. And I just think, like, Smoking in the Boys' Room, Louder Than Hell, Eye on the Money, Home Sweet Home, We Need a Lover Tonight, Use It or Lose It, Raise Your Hands to Rock. The thing is like, at least personally, I have had every one of those songs stuck in my head at one point or another. And I feel like not only did Theater of Pain become one of Motley's flagship albums, it also gave them a new level of depth, because I feel like mainly because of Home Sweet Home is probably my favorite Crue song of all time. And I say take that lightly because it's hard to pick you can't truly pick
just like we established in last podcast.
Yes.
It'll be like 20 minutes after we're done and you'll be like, well, this is probably my favorite now.
Yeah. I will say, but Home Sweet Home is one that is like, even people who don't like Motley Crue can listen to Home Sweet Home and be like, oh wow, that's good, that's powerful, you know what I mean? And I feel like it's also hidden in an album that is still very Motley Crue. And it's before they had the smash hit of Feel Good, and it was, after they've already established themselves with Too Fast for Love and Shout at the Devil. So I guess all in all, I'm going to say my favorite album might have to be Theater of Pain. It's song-wise, Song-wise, Feel Good takes the cake. It had the most hits on it. It has the most, like, just great songs, I'd say. But I feel like Theater of Pain is kind of my underdog I like to root for in the Motley Crue discography. Just because
That's fair.
it's just different. There's something about that album that truly sets it apart from the other albums, and I definitely feel like it doesn't get enough love. And I feel like it's one that I have had every single song on this album stuck in my head at one point or another. Which, Feel Good, yeah, that's
I think the worst Motley Crue song I think is a cover of Marilyn Monroe's "Like a Virgin."
Yeah,
If I'm being honest, I don't like that one.
I'm really like, I don't know, like, and the other thing that I love about Motley Crue, this is a good segue into that, is like a Virgin is not a good Motley Crue song. Like, it's really not.
No.
It's not good.
It's a good Madonna song, but
yeah, but
I
the
think it
thing
should have
is,
stayed there.
what I do like about the Crue is that though they tackled a song like that, and though I personally don't care for it, I also would listen to it. You know what I mean? Like, when it's on my vinyl.
Well, see, their worst possible song is still okay.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, it's, I feel like for both of us, it's like our favorite band is that, like,
no matter what song you pick,
yeah,
if you play a Motley Crue song, I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, turn this off.
yeah, exactly, right? Because even Like a Virgin, like, when I play my my album, like my vinyl of The Dirt, I'm not picking up the needle and moving it past.
Yeah.
It's a much easier to skip on digital, but like I still listen to the song when it comes up. It's not horrible, it's just not great. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
Crash and Burn I liked. As far as new
Crash
songs,
and Burn is phenomenal.
Crash and Burn is good. Ride with the Devil, I do like The Dirt, except for Machine Gun Kelly.
I love in Ride with the Devil that little like the build up to the chorus. Yeah, and they all like sing
on,
together.
Baby, ride with me. Ow, 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 ow. That whole like.
But the way they sound, the way it like harmonizes together, and the way it just like fills up your ears if you're listening to it with headphones.
Absolutely.
Is just
that's another great
song.
And that's the other thing too, is you can really see like whoever they got to be the engineer, like the recording and mixing engineer for that new, I don't know, did they remaster the songs, all the old ones? Like, were they remastered, or were they?
I don't think so.
Or were they just ripped from their respective albums? It's kind of hard to tell. But regardless, the new songs that were recorded, like, absolutely were done a beautiful job on mix-wise. Like, when you hear stuff, like, obviously this is kind of a dumb thing to say, but, like, let's look at 2019's The Dirt soundtrack, the new songs specifically. Right. And now, if you listen to The Dirt, if you listen to Ride with the Devil, you're going to hear some pretty top quality engineering. You're going to hear some stuff. Like, you notice how it really fills up the whole headphones and all that. And the guitar tone is more rounded. It's more like, you know what I mean? It's more professionally done.
And to give credit to Mr. Mick Mars, him playing with what is it, ankylosing spondylitis.
Oh yeah.
As well as he is, as old as he is.
Oh yeah.
He is.
That man's gonna die on
treasure.
Stage. Like, I mean,
huh?
I mean, like, I don't mean he's gonna. I just mean he would. You know what I mean?
He would die what?
On stage.
Oh yeah,
like, he would. He's like one of those people that's like he's gonna do what he loves until the last possible second.
One of my favorite things that I saw an interview with him, and he was talking about how he got started in Crue, and he said that when he went there to like play with them,
the newspaper ad.
But he said that like they were of course like interviewing him, but he said that they didn't realize that they were the ones being interviewed.
Yeah, he was interviewing. Yeah, he was interviewing the Crue. Yeah.
And I just, like he really said something that like got to me. He was like, if you like, because he says that he's still like learning, even though he's he's 69 years old. But he said that he's still like learning how to play the guitar, and he said something that like really like resonated with me. And he's like, I may be like older. He's like, but if you pick up the guitar or any instrument or anything that you're doing,
Yep.
and you're not planning on learning, then
Yep.
you've already lost. Like, put the guitar down.
Yep. I
Like, there's no reason to
I've
play
heard
it
that quote too.
if you learned everything.
Yep.
And I was
That's
like, that's
super
fantastic. That's a
inspirational
great
for
way to
sure.
look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. But just to finish what I was saying earlier, as far as comparing engineering wise, like the sound of 2019's The Dirt soundtrack and the Too Fast for Love, like you can hear it. Livewire sounds pretty raw. There isn't a lot of compression being put over everything. You know, it definitely has a more raw feeling to it, and that's because of a lack in a certain department of audio engineering. But now that Crew got established, you know, even from Dr. Feelgood, you know, on, you definitely hear a huge difference in studio quality. And once you get to, you know, like you said, in now the Dirt soundtrack, that was, I mean, you can really hear it. It fills up a room, you know. It's
Yeah, the way
it's
it
awesome.
sounds,
Yeah,
fantastic.
super great. But you know, kind of to what I was saying, like being that Mick Mars would be so dedicated that he would, you know, he'd pass away on stage, you know.
Word.
But
If
the
it was
thing
like
is,
if
yep.
it was his last action on this earth, he'd want to be on stage.
Yep, I can definitely feel that. And, you know, speaking of which, oh, the stadium tour. This is probably going to have to be the last thing we talk about. I think we've already hit time limit, or no, 5 minutes or so to time limit. So I say this is probably last topic before we got to wrap up. But we have, I mean, you and I both had tickets to the stadium tour.
We've both purchased tickets, yes.
Yep, and for those of you out there who don't know what the stadium tour is, it was a tour around the U.S. of all major stadiums, basically, in each
and
state
real quick,
for the most
lineup
part.
was legendary.
I was just getting there. Motley Crue headlining, and then Poison, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, and Take It Home, Zane.
Def Leppard, man.
Absolutely. That was like a dream come true. Like, because the thing is after watching The Dirt and realizing that they signed that contract, you know, the cessation of touring agreement or whatever, basically saying Motley's done, they're never coming back. That was signed 2014, I believe, or it was New Year's Eve 2014, and then I think it got signed the next day because 2014 was their last show, New Year's Eve, and then basically that was signed, that was said and done, and they basically quit after that, and then they basically had the offer to make the Dirt movie, and for the Dirt movie they got back together and
they were like, we love each other, actually.
They got back to make more music because they made Ride with the Devil, they made The Dirt, they made Like a Virgin, and that was all new music, so they got back in the studio and made that stuff new. And I believe it was said in an interview somewhere that they all kind of had that feeling of like, oh man, like we got something here still, you know, after all these years. And the thing is that what was cool about it is that it gave me chills when I was looking on Instagram one day, and all of a sudden I saw a video from the Motley Crue official Instagram where it said like it was like I think it was it wasn't actually Nikki. I think it was the actor from the movie saying it, but it was like, 5 years ago, 5 years ago, we signed an agreement that said we would never tour again under the name of Motley Crue. And it said something to the effect of like, and this contract was signed by all of us, and the only way to break it, the only way to destroy it is if we all came together under agreement to destroy it. And then it said something to the effect of like, and well, if there's one thing that Motley Crue's good at, it's destruction. It's breaking things. And then the room with the contract in it blew up. Like they had pyrotechnics and literally blew up the room on the Instagram video. And it was like, no way. And then all it said, Kickstart My Heart floods in. Oh, yeah. And then as it flooded in with that, it said the Stadium Tour 2020, Motley Crue, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, Def Leppard, and Poison. Your hair metal, glam metal heroes from the 80s. You know, it's just like...
And Joan Jett, such a staple for...
Yeah. Like, and that was... As soon as I saw that, I was, like, thinking to myself, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm never going to get to see the Crue play. Like, I've discovered them too late.
That's how I felt. I was like, their last tour.
Yeah, and the fact that they signed a contract, too, to officially be like, hey... none of us are going to go off and start our own Motley Crue, to tour under that name. You know what I mean? Like, we're ending it here. We're ending it civilly. Everyone signed it, but they all agreed. They ripped up the contract, or blew it up rather.
And I remember when the COVID first hit.
Yeah.
And then
oh my gosh.
I was like, I saw all these
sad.
bands dropping out. I'm like, oh, they're gonna do it.
Yeah, no.
And then once Motley Crue said that they they weren't going to, I'm like, it's okay. I didn't spend over $600 on 2 tickets. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, the thing,
I didn't just do that.
What I thought was, at least the one thing I was happy about is they weren't like, sorry, the tour is canceled. They said it's postponed. Your tickets are still valid, which I was really happy to hear. So I still have my tickets, and they're still valid for next year, and I'm still going.
I am too.
I don't care if it's the last thing I do. I have to see this show.
As long as they play, I'll wear a mask. I don't give a fuck.
Exactly. I just, oh my gosh. I don't know. I'm nervous because I don't want to go and, put my health at risk and all that. And unfortunately, if something...
I would catch it for them.
Would you? That's such a tough call to make. But I feel like, if things aren't better by next summer, like a year from now, and they're still this bad, they're probably not going to play again. They'll postpone it another year. Which would be really unfortunate, but whatever. Honestly, my only concern is, again, like if Mick Mars can make it that long. Because, I mean, the dude's been struggling with back problems for forever.
Yeah, and it's not really a death sentence, but, like, how long is he going to be able to, like, stand on his feet each night and shred on the guitar? Like,
but, again, I could see Mick Mars just really... he would put anything on the table to be able to go out on stage and tour.
And I've heard, well, like, if you've heard Nicky talk about Mick Mars, he says that Mick Mars is doing great, actually, so that's...
Oh, that's so good to hear. Oh, that's super cool. I'm really happy, because Mick is one of my, like, to me, what's inspiring about Mick Mars, and this should probably be our closing note, what's inspiring about Mick Mars...
I don't mind ending it on my favorite member of the band.
Yeah, for sure. What's inspiring about Mick Mars to me is that he was not the most technically impressive. He didn't have the most shreddy solos. He didn't have he had he didn't, you know what I mean? Like, he didn't have all this flashy stuff. He wasn't like a Van Halen, he wasn't like this, you didn't go to Van Halen, you went to Van Halen to listen to Eddie, basically, you know what I mean? But when you went to Motley Crue, you were there to listen to Motley Crue. You weren't there to listen to Vince Neil and Nikki Sixx and Tommy Lee and Mick Mars. You were there to see Motley Crue as a whole. And the thing is that Mick Mars was such a successful guitarist, but he was more tasteful than anything. He wasn't a show-off.
As Nicky put it, he didn't care about showing off. He just cared about making good music.
That couldn't be said any better. Absolutely could not be stated in a better way. Mick is forever going to be one of my inspirations just because his riff writing is, to me, unrivaled. I don't think anybody could write as good and as hard-rocking riffs as Mick Mars. Consistently right.
In that vein, I'm going to have to agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a reason why Dr. Feelgood and Kickstart My Heart, like, the guitar riffs and the, the actual, the riff that the song is written around and the intros for both of those songs, instantly recognizable and instantly Mick Mars, He was who made up that, you know what I mean? Like, when you think of some of Motley Crue's, heavy riffs and, like, not heavy as in, like, modern metal sense, but heavy rock, from back in the day, you think of Mick Mars' amazing ability to write riffs. And that, to me, is forever going to be an inspiration.
That was my favorite thing about them being classified under glam metal, is that they can call glam metal, but they were so, like, raw and, like, rough around the edges that it's like... Yeah. It was, like, beautifully ugly,
Yeah, exactly. That is, 100%. Oh, man.
All right, well, I had fun, man.
Yeah, I did too. I'm excited. I'm happy to do as many of the episodes as we can squeeze out of this, because I've been really enjoying doing these episodes with you, Zane.
I don't know what else. I don't know if we're gonna spoil any other topic we have on mind here.
I don't know if we should spoil topics, but
we're just gonna
let me pull out the book. I'll see if there's any that are like obvious that I could disclose. But
There's a few that I think from our
we
first
did talk
podcast they
about on
could
the first
kind of.
episode. So I think from the first episode, we did talk about doing an episode on Rush. We talked about Led Zeppelin for sure. And
Which
then,
Rush is a staple, I think.
yeah, Rush we kind of have to do. Led Zeppelin we have to pay homage to. And I believe we also talked about devoting some time to talking about Skid Row. So those are three
Oh, we did?
topics. Yeah, we
Oh,
talked
I know
about
I
Skid
brought
Row.
up Skid Row. I didn't know we were going to talk. Hey, I don't mind. Sebastian Bach
Yeah,
is
dude,
always
the
fun to
reason
speak
that
of.
stuck in my head all night after that first episode was recorded and I was up the next day editing it, I swear I'm going to make a soundbite of you saying Sebastian Bach because you were so like emphasized on it. And you
I
were like
love him.
you were just like, "Whoa, Sebastian Bach," and then like the mic clipped and it was like just that that was like one of my favorite like moments out of that whole podcast.
I gotta be honest.
That
I
whole
love Skid
episode
Row.
was beautiful. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I think because we talked about that, I was like, man, we should devote some time to Skid Row because they had some cool stuff going on too. So Rush, Led Zeppelin, and Skid Row, you can expect some those are topics on the list. We have a few others, but I'm not going to
There's
disclose
probably
those.
going to be much more.
I have a few other topics written down, but I'm not going to disclose those as of right now. Any final words for you, Zane, on the Crew?
Yeah, there's never been such a more meaningful band to me, I think, than Motley Crue. Like, I go through all these bands that I know and love and talk about and say that they had great writing, they meant a lot to me, but I don't know. From 7 to 20 years old, I think the one consistent band in my life that has never gone anywhere has been Motley Crue.
And for a good reason. To me, I guess what the Crew defined is what the Crew defined to me is young spirit, the fact that like you can grow old without having to fully grow up, and
Yes.
and in a good way. I mean, obviously you want to mature as a person, but at the same time there's a certain spirit that you can create and a certain spirit that you can have that if you go through life correctly, you can forever have that exciting, upbeat spirit that you have in, your prime of your life, as many people would call it. But, the thing is that if you continue to keep at doing the things you love, and that's one of the things is like right now it's a lot of work. Yeah, I don't mean to sound pretentious saying this, but I have a lot going on right now personally, just for, between full-time college student, I work a job 12 hours a week, and I have a lot of homework that comes with, being a student, and on top of that, doing this podcast, doing this YouTube channel, writing my own album, mixing and producing my own album right now. All that stuff, it adds up quite a bit of time, and the thing is that is it a lot of work? Yeah, but at the same time, it's what I love to do, and Motley Crue is a huge part of inspiring me that, you know what, if you keep at what you love doing, one day you will succeed at it. And that's why, I'm trying to, that's why I've recently started, trying to work on better ways to get, more funding for the studio and for, trying to put more time into my music. And this pandemic has actually made me a lot more productive than I thought I would ever be. I have a lot of time to myself at college because I'm, a couple hours from home. I, don't have a lot of friends here. I just end up spending a lot of my time.
Can I say one quick thing before I leave?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mick Mars, I know you're probably not listening. I love you to death, but if you are listening, by the small grace of God, you are listening. Release your solo album, please.
Oh my gosh!
You've been talking about it forever.
Yeah,
I want to hear it.
It was put on pause due to the stadium tour, but man, I really want that solo album.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, I guess I feel like as far as all the things that I'm trying to tackle right now and trying to pursue the dream of starting my own studio and being able to bring in clients and mix music and make my own and run the show and all the stuff that I've been doing, one of my underlying inspirations for sure is Motley Crue, because they did something they loved, they found the right people, they made their dream happen, and still to this day, like, wow. Like, okay, this is probably a bad example to an extent, but like Tommy Lee, if you look at some of his stuff that he's doing right now, like he's still out in his like backyard blowing stuff up, like he's probably not the most mature out of all of them, but like Mick Mars is a better example because Mick Mars all his life has been pursuing what he loves to do, and as you said with the quote of him learning, constantly learning. Every time you pick up the guitar, have the idea that you're going to learn something. And that constant pursuit of learning and knowledge and happiness and enjoyment in that knowledge, to me, is one of the most inspiring things about the band. And that's, part of the reason why I want to pursue what I am pursuing, and, why I'm excited for you to pick up guitar in a couple days. Really pumped.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm really happy to start lessons with you. I've already got ideas brewing for a little curriculum and all that kind of stuff, so... but anyway, with that being said, thank you everybody for listening. We're happy to be able to spread the gospel of one of the greatest bands ever to exist, and personally my favorite, Zane's as well. And yeah, hopefully you guys will come on back. I don't know, might try to make this weekly. I'm not exactly sure, but we'll have to see.
I work tomorrow overnight, but I think I'm off the next day.
Yeah, this probably won't. This won't come out. This won't come out for a little bit because I know I want to, keep a pretty spaced upload schedule to deal with what I can handle. Because I have another video coming out soon. Actually, it might have come out already, depending on when everybody's listening to this. But I'm probably gonna try to space these out like every week or 2 weeks or something like that. So this will.
All right. Well, now this is my actual final goodbye. Goodbye,
Alrighty.
Everybody.
Yep.
I enjoyed being here.
Yep.
Be here next time.
Sounds good. See you, Zane.
Bye.
And yeah, to be final, thank you guys all so much for watching. I really, really, really appreciate if any of you made it this far. Please subscribe if we were able to keep your attention and have you be this into what we've been talking about. You're definitely going to want to see more of it. And though you do want to see more of it, the best way you can do that is subscribe, leave a like on the video, comment down below that you made it to the end. And if you're really, really, really interested in supporting my channel, you can head on over to patreon.com/RiffJaw Music and go support me there. Patreon is a place where you can throw me a couple bucks, and it really helps go towards supporting the studio and supporting my dream and what I do. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see all of you guys next time.